So I had to go ahead and take some time to address something that came to my attention recently. We got a lot of people that are not from the city of Atlanta or the state of Georgia that have passed through here and visited a couple of times. Or either they know a couple of other coons that think like them, that tell them things about this place, and all of a sudden they think they're experts on the city of Atlanta or the state of Georgia. First of all, let's start with this tweet right here. Donald Trump made this tweet, and I'm pretty sure many of you have already seen this tweet by now, but I'm going to read it again before I get into what my issue is here with a lot of the stuff that has come to my attention from both these black COONservatives and black liberals alike. I'm going to read this tweet. I can't stand back and watch this happen to a great American city, Minneapolis. A total lack of leadership. Either the very weak radical left mayor Jacob Frey get his act together and bring the city under control, or I will send in the National Guard and get the job done right. These thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd, and I won't let that happen. Just spoke to Governor Tim Walz and told him that the military is with him all the way. Any difficulty, and we will assume control, but when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Thank you. Okay, first of all, whether you're a black conservative or a black liberal, if you're a black man sitting up here talking about, yeah, if I was the president, I would send the National Guard down there to attack you niggas too. First of all, let's deal with that. When you start talking about you niggas, I'm telling you something right now, family. Beware of any content creator saying you niggers or the blacks or blacks and using all that terminology that you hear mostly coming from the dominant society, particularly white supremacists. Because those are Negroes that are so far removed from their people, they have adopted that ideology and they hide behind being educated and choosing these different political parties, whether they're conservatives or whether they're liberals. Okay? So if you're a black man and you praising this and you just worshiping and bootlicking and kissing Trump's feet on everything that he says here in this tweet, when you know thugs is referring to black people, but you don't call the murderers of George Floyd, the murderers of Breonna Taylor, the murderers of Ahmaud Arbery, and any other black person that's been killed, because the list goes on and on. I could be here forever naming names. You don't call them thugs. You sit on your little channels and your little He-Man woman haters clubs talking about black women all day. So my issue is, if you too much of a coward, because see, when these coons see their system being threatened, the system that gives them their little butter biscuits and trinkets and pretty much takes care of them as long as they toe the line for white daddy, they're terrified when they see that system being challenged or threatened. That's why they always take issue with people that call out white supremacy and actually present solutions to it, which is to not only call it out so that you know what you're dealing with, but to stand up and oppose it. And how dare your little cowardly punk ass talk shit about people that actually believe in actually going out and doing something to change the system. We've tried voting. We tried all of that. Voting is important locally to a certain extent. But when it comes to on a national level, us getting justice here for being murdered and killed in these streets, sometimes it's going to take a little bit more than that. And see, you don't get to point your finger at anybody, particularly when you start talking about my city, pointing your finger at people talking about what we're tearing up. First of all, that goes to show that you have not lived here, but you've only passed through, or you talked to other coons, as I said, that you know down here. We don't tear up our own shit. You don't even know what's going on the ground down here, where a lot of us are actually. So keep your mouth shut about things that you don't know anything about. We got a lot of y'all online doing that that's not from this state or this city. You go by what the white media tells you or what you think you heard, or you come visit a time or two and you see something, but you don't know anything about the people down here. Watch your mouth. Because see, here's the thing that's different about us. If we say something, whether it's online or offline, we don't have to pull our strings down after we say it. We stand on what we say. See, a lot of that stuff that you're saying, this is what a lot of these conservatives and black liberals do. You want to say that you ostracize from the community because you intelligent. That's not the reason. You stand on the outside by your own doing because you think that because you've gone to a college or you successful in a business that gives you the right to look down on other black people. Let me tell you something. I'm a 2-time college undergrad and a business owner. Not only here in the country, but internationally, okay? So when you start talking that kind of shit and you trying to say that black people ostracize you because you're intelligent, that you full of shit, man. It's your cooning ass attitude. That's what gives you a problem amongst people when you can't come around them. A lot of y'all sound like Karens, man. You so scared of your own people because you don't know your own people. You think that everybody that doesn't dress a certain way or doesn't talk a certain way is a thug or a criminal. So don't you dare go putting the name of my city in no video and talking shit when you not from here. For those of you that do that shit. I'm talking to black conservative and black liberal alike. If the shoe fit, wear it, motherfucker. I don't give a damn how you take it. I ain't taking no strings down. My shit gonna stay up unless YouTube take it down. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and deal with another issue too. The reason why a lot of these COONservatives and black liberals, or LIEberals, like I like to call them, because they full of shit. The reason why y'all look up to these white men and political figures is because the only thing that's worse than not having a father in the household is having a father in the household that ain't worth a damn. See, stop projecting your fucking cowardice on us because you didn't grow up around black men that actually raised you to stand on your damn square and stand up for something. A lot of you cowards are the same motherfuckers that would have stood right there and watched George Floyd or any other black person be murdered without doing a damn thing because you're too big of a punk to do anything. And then you have the nerve to want to whine about why black women don't respect you. Don't project your cowardice onto us. Okay? See, for those of you that have fathers that wasn't shit, that actually stayed around, that was on drugs or whatever the case may be, that's your problem that you didn't have any proper manhood training. See, when you see other black men stand up and actually do something, it burns your bitch ass because you know that you don't have it in you to do that. Shout out to all the young revolutionaries out there standing up against tyranny in whatever way they choose to do it. You don't get to tell an oppressed people how they're supposed to react to oppression. You don't get to do that. Especially when you don't have your hands in the fight in any kind of way for your people. What you do is you sit up here and you spot these white talking points, and I'm talking to both black, liberal, and conservative alike, and you know that you're not going to be accepted by white mommy and white daddy that you sitting up there buck dancing for. So you try to straddle the fence so that you can still have coverage. You still try to talk about certain black issues in a positive way, and you call yourself trying to promote black businesses and stuff. But then every now and again you'll take these little shots, but you want to take your streams down online. That's not how men operate and move, man. See, you telling on yourself. You letting people know that you the type of bitch ass dude, or a woman for that matter, but we talking about black men right now that do this shit. Whoever it apply to, whatever your political leanings are, I'm talking to you. Don't give a damn if you don't like it. You're letting people know that you the type of motherfucker in public that grin in people's face, but you won't say that shit in person. See, all that shit that you talking, let me tell y'all something that's not from Georgia or Atlanta. You won't come down here and say those things to our faces. I guarantee you that. A lot of y'all have tried that bullshit from other areas, and you come down here and you find out the hard way that, hey, we some of the most peaceful people in the world, man, but you're not going to disrespect us. A lot of y'all have a lot of preconceived notions about this place, and you've never been here. A lot of y'all do. See, y'all will talk all that shit about people tearing up property, but you won't talk shit about little bastards like this that's sitting up here making fun of black people that were murdered on camera, and it's taken a long time to get justice, or black people that have never gotten justice because it wasn't on camera. You want to talk shit about people that have content that talk about white supremacy and call it out? Well, I tell you what, if we doing it wrong, then you start doing it. But see, you're too big of a coward to do that because y'all motherfuckers content center on talking about black women all day. Now, there's nothing wrong with addressing issues between black men or black women. Okay? And that goes for the sisters to have the content where y'all talking about black men all day. There's nothing wrong with talking about that. But see, this is the problem with both of y'all, man. You got to get to a point where you start talking solutions. Everything can't be all the black woman's fault. Everything can't be all the black man's fault. So, you know, for those of you wagging your fingers online, talking all that shit, don't bring up nothing about my city or my state if you haven't lived here. And I ain't talking about from Georgia, you came to Georgia from another place. I'm talking about you were born here. See, this is the difference between educated brothers like myself. Like I said, I'm a 2-time college undergrad. You know, I own businesses. I'm good on any block in my city, in my state, in this country, internationally. I can go to Brixton in the UK. I can go to Canberra in Kenya. I can go into Zimbabwe. I can go down to favelas in South America. I've been to these places. I'm good on any block. You know why? Because I understand my people wherever I go. I'm not scared to death like some kind of little white woman clutching her purse every time you see a black person cross anywhere nearby you thinking they're going to rob you. Because a person speaks a certain way, addresses a certain way. Whether I'm in a business suit or whether I'm in casual clothes, I still get the respect of my community. You know why? Because I am a man worthy of respect. I carry myself the same whether I've got $1 million in my pocket or whether if I had $1 in my pocket, 1 cent in my pocket. See, you can be a successful failure if you go on to get educated or become a business owner, whatever the case may be, but you still haven't mastered the quality of manhood and leadership. That makes you a failure because, see, black men don't sit online all day and whine about what black women do. You know why we don't do that? Because we get their respect. Black women will fall in line easily when the man that they're dealing with or men that they're dealing with are worthy of being respected. And that don't even mean the women that you're trying to date. There's plenty of sisters that if they know where you coming from is genuine and legitimate, they'll listen to what you have to say. So I had to get that part out the way. And then when it comes to tearing up our own communities, get off that outdated talking point, because even in Atlanta, a lot of the stuff that's being fucked up, black people don't own that. And it's a code down here that a lot of you bitch ass niggas might not understand or be used to living by, because any coward, they can't stand on what they say without trying to snatch their streams down and everything. What y'all don't understand is brothers and sisters down here know what shit not to touch. We know who owns what. So go ahead and keep your mouth on things you don't understand. And then as far as criticizing a lot of different brothers and sisters online that's actually doing shit, let me tell you something, man. Everything that needs to be done isn't put on camera. If you criticizing any of the brothers in Liberty Road, if you criticizing TBA or anybody like that, these brothers are actually out in the community doing things. Liberty Road does a lot. They've been doing a lot before people heard of them or even saw them online. It's supposed to be a show of force after you murder a black person in the community. You have to stand up. That's what black men do. You stand up and let it know that, hey, there's a presence here and we're armed just like you armed. That's what's supposed to be done. That's what men do in times of crisis. We step up and lead. We don't sit back and bitch and complain online and be focusing on what black women won't do and all that. See, if you actually stand up and do what you're supposed to do, women respect you, period. And as far as TBA is concerned, let me tell you something, man. That brother been solid for 10 years. He's actually putting up his own money to bail out any black people anywhere in the country that have been charged with any type of crime related to these protests. I've got a post on my community tab with information on there. If you know anybody, get in touch with us. It's a whole team of people actually working with the brother to try to help get people out of that situation. Now, that being said, let me get back to people that's got so much to say about Atlanta, but not people like in this picture right here. Let me go to show you something. The problem with a lot of you clowns is you will be just like these Negroes in this picture right here, willing to protect this punk ass race soldier when you can't show me a picture or video anywhere where it's a bunch of white cops that's actually stopping an assault like we saw that caused the murder of our brother George Floyd. A bunch of white cops stopping that and protecting that black man or woman from being killed. See, you're scared to death of this system crumbling, you black conservatives and black liberals that's cooning and buck dancing up here. We is our own worst enemy. Y'all tearing up your own community. You the motherfuckers in this picture that want to protect the system because you scared to death to see it crumble. You know that means that you're going to be dealt with next. So what you do, you sit back like cowards and wag your finger at other black people like our punk ass mayor here, who I read her damn rights earlier on this channel. That time is coming to an end. You better get ready for that. Black people across this nation internationally are getting tired of that. And so what you better start doing right now, that system is going to change. You see that right now. People are not accepting it anymore. And when it does, you better make sure you get your mind right because you're going to be dealt with next. We're going to remember who tried to prop the system up and keep it upheld because you upholding injustice, worrying about property over people's lives. Atlanta is a black mecca, so to speak, and it's a prosperous city. But at the same time, we have issues down here that you wouldn't understand if you didn't live here. For example, most of the black cops are cool, man. But there are situations where the white cops will get and hem up a brother, and they're all white cops in the situation, and there's no other black cops around, and they do all kinds of shit. I've got the content on my channel that proves that. So if you're not from a place and you don't live here, stop speaking on what you don't know. Don't be telling people talking about y'all don't have that problem down there. Motherfucker, how you know? You coming through visiting or talking to other coons down here that too scared to be around other black people. They don't know what the fuck going on down here. You don't either. You sound dumb as hell, man, when you trying to speak on an area where you don't live. See, when I hear about that kind of shit, I'm going to address it. Because, see, a lot of us let that shit slide, but I've seen a lot of different little slick comments coming from some of these content creators, some of them with large channels. The problem that we have with a lot of these COONMELEONS, and I'm going to call it out, what y'all do, because you have a little bit of talent, you'll straddle the fence so that you can get coverage because people think you funny or whatever the case may be. But then really deep down, you hate black society. You really do. When you start referring to people as you niggas like you not one of us and using all that white supremacist terminology. And then that's another thing that brings me to. I've seen a lot of these content creators that look like they're biracial, so to speak. When they see certain things that they're critical of, they start talking just like white supremacists. See, we're gonna have a separation between the cowards among us and the people that's actually willing to stand up and do things and take a change here. And make a change, rather. We're going to have a separation. We're not going to have y'all in the way no more. The time to deal with the coon is coming. I'm telling you that right now. Not because I said it. Look at this country. This whole country is saying that. It's either you on this side or that side. Ain't going to be that middle ground that y'all trying to hide in and hide between us when you have contempt for black society. That's coming to an end, man. That's coming to an end. I'm telling you that right now. And see, here's another thing. Where your content criticizing motherfuckers like this? Why you worrying about white daddy's property? Man who begged, please I can't breathe, dies in Minneapolis police custody. Sean Baker Sr. here. Where your content on Sean Baker Sr.? Awesome, one less piece of shit in the world. Hope it didn't breathe. It was glorious to watch. You don't have no smoke for him talking about our brother George Floyd, do you? See, here's the thing, man. What you are missing, coon, whether you black conservative or black liberal, what you missing, coon, This movement is about more than George Floyd. It's about the 400 plus years of oppression black people have suffered in this country. No matter what we've tried to do following the system, when the system is corrupt and it's not going to hear you when you go through the process, well, it's time to try something different. No sane person keeps doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. That's in any society. See, that's another thing. When you have all this criticism for your own people and you wagging your fingers. When you look at any society around the world, when the people were oppressed by tyranny of their own government, they rose up against it. You the only motherfuckers that will sit up here and criticize your own people for trying to get free or get justice, so to speak. If a white person was doing this shit, y'all would be idolizing it. Oh man, they'd be the greatest thing since sliced bread. Y'all wouldn't have nothing to say negative. But when it's your own people, here you come out the woodwork, like the cowards that you are, criticizing everybody. See, here's another thing too. For all those coons that doing that, you tied to this thing, this concept where if you choose one political party or the other, that makes you a different black person. You the special Negro. Let me ask you something. In either party, where is the black leadership that's respected in either party, whether it's Republican or Democrat? Where's that black leadership that's advocating for your people? See, I would give you a pass if you could show me that leadership in either party that said, okay, we think we can change the system this way. Well, I'm going to be the black representation in this party and I'm going to come back and change things for my people. Neither side, Democrat or Republican, has any black leadership or any black representative that they can call and say, okay, I need something done for my people in my area where I'm from. Let me call them up and get that done. I don't see it. And don't give me that argument talking about black people don't put money behind politicians. We do, but a lot of times when we do it, we end up getting the coons that sound like you all. You get in there and then you flip the script and because you secretly idolize white people all along. That white reverence, that's going to have to go. That's going to have to go, man. You can't be for your people. You actually got people talking about they pro-black, but every other word out their mouth is praising one of these white politicians, whether it's Donald Trump or one of these Democratic politicians. Let me tell you something, man. You can't be pro-black, meaning for your people, and you sitting up here praising a motherfucker that don't give a damn about black people. Do you know how stupid that sounds? Why you bragging about your intelligence? That's not too fucking bright. How you gonna call yourself pro-black, but you talking about whether it's Democrat or Republican, whether it's a Joe Biden or a Donald Trump, you talking about, oh, you know, if I was him, I would send the National Guard in at you niggas too. You hear how you fucking sound, man? That's pathetic, man. Especially for a black man to be idolizing these white politicians and these white figures like that, as if you don't have leadership within yourself. And many of you don't. Like I said earlier, a lot of you don't come from households where you had black fathers or grandfathers or men or uncle, whatever the case may be, to teach you how to stand up and be a damn man. So you have to idolize other white men because you literally look to these men as your daddies. Whether you literally say that or not, you figuratively show that you idolize these damn people. And see, let me really get on these conservatives for a minute. The ones of you that have problems with the Democrats, I agree with you. Them motherfuckers are despicable because I'm damn sure not a Democrat. I'm an independent. I'm not loyal to either party. I'm loyal to my people. Whoever's going to do something for my people, that's who I'm for. But see, you conservatives, you go hard against the Democrats. Talking about democratic cities and all of this stuff. What are policies in the conservative or the Republican Party that's actually helping black people? See, you sound like a bitch when you do that because, see, let me tell you what a bitch does. A bitch sits up and praises motherfuckers that don't give a fuck about their existence. That's what a bitch does. So before you speak on Atlanta, you check yourself and get your mind right. We got us down here. We gonna do what we need to do to get free, and everybody else across the nation is doing what they feel they need to do to get free. Sometimes that's out in the streets. Sometimes that might be legal support, financial support. It might be advocating if you are in a position where you feel like you have some type of political pull. Others are doing it that way. There's a lot going on behind the scenes in any revolution that's ever taken place in history. Everybody has different roles. But you cowards aren't going to sit out here and run down these young people. But I don't see that same vitriol for these murderers with these badges that's been killing us. Where your vitriol at for the 3 race soldiers that killed our sister Breonna Taylor? Where your vitriol at for the 2 white supremacist goons down there that killed Ahmaud Arbery? Where your vitriol at for Derek Chauvin, 2000, and the other 2 race soldiers that murdered George Floyd? Where your vitriol at for all these people that we have seen over and over do things? Whether it's a George Zimmerman, whether it's the motherfuckers that shot Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray, the list goes on and on. Sandra Bland, like I said, I'll be here forever naming names. I don't forget my people because I'm around my people and I understand my people. So Coons, let me show you something. You see, if you were in an official position like this was taken in South Carolina, you would have an excuse because it's your job to help people. Now, if it was me, I would have let this little ass pass the fuck out, and that would have been my last day on the job. I'll be damned if I help one of these bastards. You hate my people, I got the same amount of vitriol for you. But see, you would have an excuse if this was your job. You motherfuckers out here cooning for free, man. Do you know how cowardly that is to be considering yourself so hardcore aligned with either political party and you getting a little something out of it, but at the same time, when the motherfuckers are done with you, they turn on you and kill you too. Y'all gonna learn one way or another. There is no hiding place. There's no exemption. No matter what you tell yourself in your mind, no matter who you dating, whatever the case may be, there's no way to take off your uniform if you black in this country. Anywhere in the world for that matter, to be clear. And see, I have more respect for this bed wench right here. This account has been terminated as far as I know. But I have more respect for a bed wench that'll stand on her square. And what she's got in the tweet here, what a time to be alive when black men knew not to fuck with white daddies. Okay. This despicable piece of shit right here is making her position known. She's letting you know, hey, look, I can't stand black men, and not only black men, motherfuckers like this, don't get it twisted. They hate black society, period. I respect that. You letting us know where you stand. See, this motherfucker leaves some shit like that up until the platform that she's using takes it down. But what a bitch ass nigga will do is go and throw a rock and hide your hand, and then you come back and try to put out some content like you for black people or talking about promoting black businesses or whatever. This is to whomever it applies to. That's cowardly, man. So this is my thing. The next time that you go and open your mouth and you put my city in the title, or you get to talking about the state of Georgia, or any place in the country where these young people are standing there doing what they need to do out here because they're frustrated and because motherfuckers like you ain't actually guiding them in any kind of way. If you think they're wrong, then you should be trying to guide them young folks. But see, you don't do that. The only thing a coward knows to do is run from a damn problem. But see, the difference between a coward and a black man, because that's an earned title. You can't just grow into manhood or womanhood, or black womanhood for that matter. You have to earn that. What black men and black women do, we solve problems. We solve them. We don't take off running. That's not what you do. That you can't solve any problem in life by running from it. These young people have sense enough to know that it's a time to take a stand, and that's what they're doing, and I'm proud of them, and I support them 100%. And I'm going to close this out by saying that if any of you need help in connection with these protests, you need to be bailed out. I'm going to post a link in the description box with information where you can get help. If you got a relative that needs bond or needs to be bailed out, I'm going to post a link in the description box where you can get them the help they need. We got a whole team standing by waiting to help and actually do something other than sit online and criticize people. So with that said, much respect, Black family. I will see you all in future content. And I'm going to be fleshing this out a little bit later, but I just had to go ahead and take this time to G-check a little bit of the bullshit that I've been hearing from certain people online. Y'all better stay in y'all lane, man. Black first. Talk to y'all later, Black family.
You know, this lead me to say, you know, all of the burning and bombing that was done to us and the houses, nobody never said too much about that, and nothing was done. But let something be burned, you know, by a black man, and then, my God, you know, you see, the flag is drenched with our blood. Because, you see, so many of our ancestors was killed because we have never accepted slavery. We had to live on it, but we've never wanted it. So we know that this flag is drenched with our blood. So what the young people are saying now, give us a chance to be young men, respected as a man. As we know, this country was built on the black backs of black people across this country. And if we don't have it, you ain't gonna have it either, because we gonna tear it up. That's what they saying. And people ought to understand that. I don't see why they don't understand that. They know what they've done to us. All across this country, they know what they've done to us. This country is desperately sick, and man is on the critical list.
We're going to take time and patience with our people because they're ours. They're ours. All of the Uncle Toms, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk. And when they slap, we're going to bow. And when they slap, we're going to bow. And we're going to try to bring them home. And if they don't come home, we're going to off them. That's all. That's all. The 3 M's. The missionaries, the money, and the Marines. That is precisely the way it's moved all over the world. It is the way it moves against us. They have sent the missionaries in. We sent them out. They have sent the money in with the poverty program. The Vietnamese and the Koreans are pulling the money out. The next thing comes the Marines. Comes the Marines. And if we're talking seriously, we get prepared for the Marines.
Go ahead and tell them how old you are, Dr. Duke.
Well, I'm 68 years old.
You have a man that's 68 years old. You guys are watching the screen right now, and you see he is in just as good, but I would say better shape than me. And he told me, he said, I'm sure you work out earlier. And I want to respond to him and tell him, nope, these are slave jeans. I walk past the gym and I can't hit you. I haven't worked out in so long. I ran up the stairs a little bit, Dr. Duke, and I got tired. That's how far I'm out of shape. This is all for show.
It's because, well, it's really because you're black and your genes are a little bit not as accustomed, by the way, to the food of the Western world. And our genes aren't either, because we're not eating the food of our ancestors. Your ancestors ate a lot of meat. They ate a lot of fish. They didn't eat, they didn't really eat modern agricultural grains, at least up until 10,000 years ago or less. And we're just not evolutionarily made for this modern sick diet that is promoted to us by the media. And they get us grazing. They got us grazing like herbivores. We're not herbivores. We're omnivores. And definitely it was meat eating that helped us develop a brain to begin with, whether we're white or black. Meat eating was what transformed us into humans.
You told me a story, and I don't know if you want to tell it on air. I don't know if you've ever told it, but you told it before we went on air about your time in the pokey.
Yeah.
And lifting at this moment. Tell us that story, because I like that story about going up to the black guy.
Well, this was just like a personal story, but I've always been a pretty strong guy, and I made sure that I was at my peak. Of course, I was 53 years old, but even then, I'm strong. I've done, between 550 and 630 pounds max of deadlifts before. It's not exactly too bad for an old guy. Mm-hmm. And my friends knew I was really strong when I went to prison. And we had about 15% blacks at the jail and about 15% Mexicans. And the strongest guy in the yard was a black dude. And so one of my friends said, "Look, we're gonna let people know what you got, because you're kind of tricky in the sense that you're not the biggest guy ever, but you're even stronger than you look." And they had me come out and they challenged the guy to a deadlifting contest with this black dude who was doing about 400 pounds. And I did so when he was finished, he did about 400 pounds. And so then I was kind of playing with him a little bit, and I said, "Well, this is all right. Of course, I got to do more than you for me to win the contest. It's like 3 cartons of cigarettes. That's a lot. That's a lot when you're in prison." And by the way, we have a system, obviously, in this country that the government never goes after people for taxes politically. We know that, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, so the guy says, "Yeah, but 3 cartons of cigarettes." And his buddies, because he's a strong dude, they got 3 cartons of cigarettes. My friends put up 3 cartons of cigarettes. And so I was just kind of playing with them because we were kind of making a presentation. And that's the way it is in prison. It's like you basically present yourself and you show yourself of what you got. And it's really the best way to do it, especially if you got something. You show what you got. And so they get it all done. And I could have put on 10 more pounds or 20 more pounds, but I said, "I'll just go ahead and please put another 45 on each side." And then they said, "Wow, no, you're not going to do that, And I said, and so they started kind of acting like, they were kind of, razzing me and say, "Oh, yeah, you're going to do that. Sure, you old man, you're going to do that." So I said, "I think you're right. I can't do that. I got to do a little more." So I had him put another 45 on each side. So I had 180 pounds more than he was doing. And I did 3 reps. And I never had any problem. The whole time I was there for 15 months after that, I was always Mr. Duke. And I had a lot of respect, and I actually got along fine. Do
you think people respected you because you were being honest, that you didn't dodge who you were? You were like, "Yeah, this is who I am, and let me explain."
Well, the truth is, the one reason why I got respect was one thing, because physically I was strong. I had a lot of good buddies, who were strong, who would have, they would have given their life if they had to protect me, which is I'm honored about that, because they thought I was an important person for their cause and their beliefs. But the thing that really contributed, and I hate to say this, but even though I was never violent, never advocated violence, the Klan has this image, that you're like a mafioso dean or something, right? And so the idea is like, "Oh my God, if something happens to Duke, then everybody's gonna be wiped out, who back home," this kind of thing.
That's some power.
And even though that wasn't true, and I don't think that would have happened, but it's like that was certainly something that was positive for me while I was there. But I had many interesting discussions with black people, including a lot of Muslims, black Muslims, which is really interesting. And a couple of them, I was head of the compound cleaning, and so I was able to go to the library a lot during the days there. And it was a pretty tough prison. It was open open bunks too. So it was a dangerous prison, and that people had access to you at night when you were sleeping. And then I've had a couple of times when people were burned badly. But my reputation, I think, probably helped keep me safe and good. But I had many black and Muslims who were blacks who kept trying to convert me to Islam. They said, man, you're missing the boat, because if white people became Islamic, they'd be having lots of children. They don't believe in all this feminist stuff, and that would be an advantage to you. And I said, thanks, but I'm a Christian. But it was kind of interesting how they never kind of gave up on me. They were hoping to convert me to Islam.
What's creating the situation? You said it. What's creating the situation of a lot of white men are honestly becoming cucks to me? They're softening them up. They're making them weak. And I have a shirt that says #guiltless, saying white people need to get rid of white guilt, because white guilt is destroying society as much as anything else, because you're afraid all the time. You're afraid of saying something to offend someone. You're afraid of not, so you can be considered and shown as weak, and you eat it. Why?
The coons are coming.
Bow down to President Trump. It's been so incredibly hard.
Seems like white folk ain't never had a bright idea in their life. It's coming up with all kinds of ways to kill your ass.
Coon trade is coming. Coon trade is coming.
What about black on black crime?
Coon trade is coming.
The buck dancing Negro coon. Buck dancing Negro coons are deathly afraid to trouble their white masters.
Bow down to President Trump.
Now your problem right now is making a good impression. And I want you to start solving that problem right now and get them goddamn rooms ready.
Coon trade is coming.
What about black on black crime?
Coon trade is coming.
Where the white women at?
Coon trade is coming.
All white peoples ain't bad.
Coon trade is coming.
We is our own worst enemy.
Coon trade is coming.
What about black on black crime?
Coon trade is coming.
Where the white women at?
Coon trade is coming.
All white peoples ain't bad.
Coon trade is coming.
We is our own worst enemy.
Coon trade is coming.
What about black on black crime?
Coon trade is coming.
Where the white women at?
Coon trade is coming.
All white peoples ain't bad.
Coon trade is coming.
We is our own worst enemy.
Coon trade is coming.
What about black on black crime?
Coon trade is coming.
Where the white women at?
Coon trade is coming.
All white peoples ain't bad.
Coon trade is coming.
We is our own worst enemy.
Coon trade is coming.
What about black on black crime?
Coon trade is coming.
Where the white women at?
Coon trade is coming.
All white peoples ain't bad.
Coon trade is coming.
We is our own worst enemy.
America and on this planet. LeBron has risen above poverty to that special elevated place we have in this society where pretty much nothing can bother him. And to sit here and say that, oh my God, my house was vandalized in LA and on the eve of this greatest sporting event, I'm traumatized. It's just not true.
He didn't say it was traumatized.
I understand, but that was the way he postured and, the way, again, it was all said for the benefit of social media and Twitter. I'm fired up about it because, again, this is the Embrace Debate Network. That's what we label ourselves as.
Yeah.
And so I'm not out of bounds here when I say, I watched Undisputed and saw Shannon Sharp today say the hardest thing is being black in America. I was just like, this is crazy. Have you ever tried to be a veteran that lost a leg in America? Have you ever been a poor person accused of a crime and forced to go with a public defender in America? of any color. If you're poor, regardless of color, you are catching hell. I've been poor. Shannon's been poor. We know the difference. We know how good our lives are, and we don't need to pretend like, oh my God, this is so terrible what's happening to us. We need to be defending the poor and disadvantaged and talking about their issues, because our issues are very minimal. LeBron's issues from this bit of vandalism, there are no repercussions.
I mean, pointing out obstacles and facts is not embracing is not embracing. That's an obstacle. It's an obstacle white people in America don't have to deal with.
They never have, and their houses never get vandalized. They never hear disrespectful things to them.
When pointing out facts is not embracing victimhood, LeBron James clearly does not think of himself.
Man just said,
can I finish?
Yes, you can. And it is still my show, Chris.
I don't care whose show it is. I'm on the set.
It's still my show. You
so that means I can't talk?
You can't filibuster the whole conversation.
You cut me off every 6 words because I don't agree with you. You start by saying racism exists, but then every time a black person brings up racism, you shoot it down.
Because again, someone spray painting something on a millionaire's home.
That's not he's not a victim in that situation?
Hell no.
What about black on black crime? Where the white women at? All white people ain't bad. We is our own worst enemy. What about black on black crime? Where the white women at? All white people ain't bad. We is our own worst enemy. What about black on black crime? Where the white women at? All white people ain't bad. We is our own worst enemy. What about black on black crime? Where the white women at? All white people ain't bad. We is our own worst enemy. What about black on black crime? Where the white women at? All white people ain't bad. We is our own worst enemy.
She saves all kinds of keepsakes from her children with her ex-husband's seal, even their son's hair. In a recent interview, Heidi said, quote, "They have big afros, and when I shave them all down, I keep all the hair and put it in a Ziploc bag. I keep everything." What unusual things do we all save?
Okay, I'm sorry, but why would you save afro hair? I mean, you can't weave in afro hair. You don't never see us at the hair place going, look here, what I need is I need this curly nappy beard. that just seems nasty. That just seems nasty.
Get this. I mean, I don't know if I'm weird, but I have like my son's first haircut and hair little
which
things
is probably some beautiful long silky stuff.
Me too.
That's not what an afro is.
Which
is probably some beautiful long silky stuff.
Me too.
That's not what an afro is.
The coons are coming.
Bow down to President Trump. It's been so incredibly hard.
Seems like white folk ain't never had a bright idea in their life. It's coming up with all kinds of ways to kill your ass.
Coon train is coming. Coon train is coming.
What about black on black crime?
Coon train is coming.
The Buck Dancing Negro Coon. Written by Omna Shaw Curry. Buck dancing, Negro coonery, was invented by the concept of meritorious manumission during the enslavement of Africans in America. The Meritorious Manumission Act of 1710 became law in the state of Virginia. It was the legal act of freeing a Negro slave for good deeds, as defined by the national public policy, and could be granted to any black slave who saved the life of a white master or his property.
Who this nigga on that nag?
It's Snowball.
That is where the term selling out came from.
Selling out
is a very negative term, especially among us so-called black folks. But for those who sell out, it has become very, very profitable. 300 years later, we black folks are still dealing with sellouts. Today we call them Negro coons. Most Negro coons are stupid. Given proper motivation, a Negro coon will believe and support almost anything that comes from the mind and lips of his or her white masters. The mind of the Negro coon is full of self-hatred, false knowledge, twisted facts, and perverted belief systems. Negro coons are so stupid, they will believe a lie because they want to believe it's true, or because they're afraid it might be true. They can rarely tell the difference between a lie and the truth, yet they are confident they can. That's why the Negro coon is the easiest to bamboozle. The average Negro coon has been indoctrinated into the religious systems of blind faith. Anytime a human entity or institution invokes the concept of faith, they are attempting to coerce the truth to surrender to their whims. These liars, charlatans, and thieves breathe life into a lie by trying to outshine reality with the beauty of wishes. Blind faith does not allow critical thinking. Those of us who practice critical thinking are often branded as troublemakers. Buck dancing Negro coons are deathly afraid to trouble their white masters.
Bow down to President Trump.
Now, your problem right now is making a good impression. And I want you to start solving that problem right now and get them goddamn rooms ready.
Coon trade is coming. Coon trade is coming.
What about black on black crime?
The coons are coming.
The day after that, man, we gotta go again, man. Man, when the grills got mad, that was great. Man, I am Caesar. Dude, I was out. Yo, hey. Did you go step on my foot like that, dude? Excuse me? You gonna step on my foot like that?
Why don't you watch where the fuck you're standing at, bro?
Hey, listen, dude, listen. I ain't trying to disrespect you, but you disrespecting me now, man.
Put your hand in my face.
You gonna hit my hand?
That's right.
You gonna disrespect me like that?
That's what I just did.
Justin, come on back, Justin. Come on back, Justin.
Coon trade is coming. Coon
Black people. It's black people. See, that's just one of the big lies that America tells you and that you go for because you chumps. You go for it. One of the lies that we tell ourselves is that we are making progress. But Huey's chair is empty. We're not making progress. We tend to equate progress with concessions. We can no longer make that mistake. You see, when they gave us that nigger astronaut, you say we were making progress, but I told you they were going to lose him in space. He didn't get that far. You put Adam Powell in office and you couldn't keep him. What you think they're going to do with Thurgood Marshall when they get tired of him? They gave you Walter Washington of Washington, D.C., and you said we were making progress. That's not progress. See, it's no in-between. You're either free or you're a slave. There's no such thing as second-class citizenship.